Teach about nunchuck positions. There are about 6 that I usually use, and there are a few more, but they're not as reliable. The first position is where you go like this. See? Your front arm is a little bit bent, and then your back arm is at a right angle. See? And you can close or keep your hands open depending on what you're wanting to do. I usually leave them open because it gives them more maneuverability, but it's a little bit less power, so you get to decide. Okay, that's first position. I'll show you second position. It's quite similar, but it's higher up, and instead of your front arm being bent forward just a little bit, now it's a little bit more than a right angle. See that? Say 45 degrees or more. Both your arms are like this. Okay. Now, third position is like this. You see me do this in last video when I was preparing to strike that tin can. This is a very solid, powerful position, and this is the most frequently used. That's position 3. And when you move from this position to this position, it's called chambering. Okay. Now, fourth position is behind the back. Your arms are typically at this angle, and hold at this spot in the back, just at the bottom. Okay, that's position 4. Now position 5, I almost never use. It's like this. See that? It's kind of like position 3, but it's behind the back. It's a little bit awkward, and I wouldn't recommend you doing this one. It's a little bit hard to get out of. Okay, now position 6, the last one that I usually do. There are a few more that I find to be impractical, and so I'm not going to teach you how to use them. Okay, so usually you get to this position by getting into position 3, remember? And you swing, and it's around the neck, like this. Now it doesn't matter if your arms are crossed over like this or like this, but when you're wanting to strike, well, I'll teach you after the other positions. See that? Okay. Now I showed you the starting positions. Now I'll show you the striking positions for those positions. Right, position 1, remember? Okay. There's a lot of potential for strikes that you can do with this position. I'll show you using the back arm. You go like this. You go like this on your head, or right here. If you want to go like that, although I prefer to go like this, so I don't have to move around as much. And you strike. See that? You let it loose. You swing around from behind you. See that? And you can do that with the other arm too. Okay, so that's first position. I'll show you another first position strike. Ready? This involves the first arm. You strike up, like that. Now I'll teach you later on how to exactly strike. That will be the next video, I believe. First position. That's the first strike I taught you. And now, the second strike I taught you. You see that? I can switch from first position to third position, then back to first position. There are a lot of different ways that you can use this attack. You can also move forward into third position again and strike. Although that's not entirely a first position strike. There you go. That's two basic strikes that you can do, and you can change these a little bit, make them a little bit different. Did you see that? You can also strike like that. That's probably my most favorite strike in this position. Okay, now I'm moving to second position. Most of the strikes you can do in this position are the same as the first position, so I won't go into too much depth. See that? And just like first position, you can transition in between first, second, and third positions to get to the position you want to. Does that make sense? You see that? Also do that strike. Strike. You can alternate between positions very easily. Third position is the most basic position. Positions because there's two ways you can do it. Okay, there's a lot of potential for strikes with this position. Alright? The most basic strike is a diagonal strike. You strike like this. Very slowly. You can practice very slowly at first. And did you see that? This is called traveling, and I'll teach you about that a little bit later. I'll go more into depth about it. So that's one strike you can do. And now, with the other arm, the underhand. See this? It's typically in between the shoulder and the beginning of your arm. You can strike like this. And move into the other third position. Left, third position, right, third position, left, right, right, right. I call these uppercuts. You're slashing up across your opponent, and usually aiming for their chin. Okay, a few more strikes that you can do with third position. These are some that I'm going to show you right now. Ready? See that? Instead of striking normally diagonal, I move my body a little bit like this and slash horizontally. Ready? I'll do it with the other arm. This is a good move to distract your enemy and to probably confuse them. Alright, this is a resting position you can take with nunchucks. You see this? horizontal slash is what I like to call it. And you can practice going faster and faster with these strikes. Fourth position is a very fun one with lots of clever attacks that you can use. Okay. The main attacks that I use is a normal horizontal strike, like that. You can swing and go back into this position. Go back into fourth. Now this is a pretty fast move that you can pull, but there's another move. It's a little bit slower, but it might give you a little bit more power. You see that? You go up and you swing it almost above your head. Your hand goes in a back circle like that. Build up a little bit more momentum. So those are the two main attacks that you can use. Two main strikes. You can also, if your opponent is on your side, strike like that. Just pull upwards and strike from that position. Position. It's a little bit more limited in strikes, but it's a solid position. Now you can do this position in different ways. I forgot to mention that. You can do it right here, behind the head. If you want right there, I don't do it ever right there, but so you can strike like that, go into third position on the left side, and you can do that the other way too. You can strike using your bottom hand, go into third position, or if you want to, into fifth position as well. You can also do the classic strike, a diagonal strike, like this. Just like that. So those are the first five. I'll show you the sixth one. So the sixth one is a little bit tricky. You can hold your arms like this. I said before that it doesn't really matter which arm comes out as long as you don't get tangled up. And so there's two basic strikes that you can do, one with each arm. You can strike like that, or you can strike like that. Now there's a few other strikes that you can use, and many others that you can figure out on your own. There's that one. A little bit trickier, but they're still effective. Okay, there's one last position that I did not mention. And this one is very popular. Okay. This is seventh position. It's done on one side like this. So it's not like this. It's like this. And usually it's done where your arm holds over. It's mostly stuck in your armpit right here. holding around this area. And there are a lot of strikes that you can do with this one. This has some of the most potential out of almost any of these strikes. This position and third position are the two, I'd say, the most effective positions you can take. Okay, so the main attack that you'll see, that you might have seen in most movies, like Bruce Lee movies, is this. You go out, strike forward in a circle, forward circle. And when you're done here, you allow the momentum to keep going, but you slow it down a little bit so it doesn't hurt as it gets back into your arm. See that? I'll show you with the other arm too. Now this is meant to strike right on the face or somewhere right there. It's a good fast attack that you can do to keep the enemy at bay. Although it doesn't have as much range. You can give it a little bit more, but it's a little bit harder. Now one of my most favorite attacks, one of my most favorite strikes you can do with this position is this. Ignore that last part. I'll teach you how to do that later. Just stick around. For now, you can just go up like that, pull it, and let the momentum carry the nunchuck up into your armpit. It's if you're holding with your right arm, you're going to your right side, slashing. You're letting it go into a horizontal slash like that. Boom. If you want, you can follow it with another horizontal slash, 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 slash. You see that other strike? That was in my left arm, but I did it to the right side. You can also do this on your right arm. Now make sure that if you ever actually need to fight someone, don't let your jacket get in the way. If you saw it right now, my jacket kind of got hit by my nunchucks. So that can be a little bit of a hazard to yourself. The last strike I'll teach you with the 7th position is this. All you're doing is stretching out the nunchucku out full length and bringing it into 3rd position on your right or your left arm. Ready? But when you're doing this, make sure you do it fast. It's a strike. Striking up the chin. There you go. Those are the main strikes that you can use in each of those 7 positions. Thank you for watching.